In the dark, a mission doesn't announce itself. It arrives like a shadow, moves like a blade, and disappears before anyone can explain what happened. These are the tools behind that legend, built for salt water, sand, mud, and the kind of pressure that breaks everything else. From the silent sting of the HK-MP7 to the devastating punch of the Mk-17, this is the arsenal that helped turn Navy SEALs into the most feared maritime operators on Earth. Not because these weapons look impressive on paper, but because they've been carried into the worst environments on the planet and trusted to work every time. When the mission is cold, wet, dark, and hostile, reliability becomes a form of mercy. And every weapon here earned its place the hard way. It starts with rifles and carbines, because for a SEAL, the rifle is not just a tool, it's the center of gravity of the entire fight. The M14 is pure old-school authority, a 7.62 hammer built for long open valleys, ridgelines, and wide sight lines where lighter rounds lose their bite. It isn't modern, it isn't light, and it doesn't apologize. It ends fights at distance. Then the platform evolves into the M14 EBR, modernized with rails, improved ergonomics, and the ability to mount optics and accessories without sacrificing the soul of the original. Still heavy, still brutal, but now adaptable to modern warfare. Then there's endurance, the kind of weapon that keeps showing up across decades. The M16A1, M16A2, M16A3, and M16A4 represent that history. Jungles, deserts, heat, dust, and long deployments. But saltwater is a silent killer. That's why the maritime M16 matters, specially treated and coated so it doesn't become a rusted liability after the ocean. It's built for the moment operators surface from clandestine water infiltration, water dripping, breathing controlled, and the mission already moving. No warm-up, no second chances. Just ready. Then comes the age of speed, tight spaces, and fast decisions. The M4A1 becomes the modern workhorse, compact, modular, and reliable, made for urban alleys, stairwells, vehicles, and those tight angles where a second of delay can kill you. And when space gets even tighter, ship corridors and steel compartments, the Mk-18 CQBR takes over. Short barrel, quick handling, built for VBSS missions and shipboarding, where longer rifles snag and slow you down. The Mk-18 isn't about comfort. It's about movement and control in the most cramped, hostile environments imaginable. Modern modularity arrives with the FN SCAR-L, built for adaptability and ease of maintenance. Operators appreciated its smooth recoil and simple field service. But when the mission demands more power, more reach, more authority, SEALs reach for the FN SCAR-H, delivering 7.62 punch without dragging a bulky old battle rifle through modern terrain. Then there's the HK-416, famous for running clean and staying dependable when conditions get ugly. Piston-driven and built. For hard use, it earned trust because it kept firing even when dirt, salt, and stress tried to choke everything else. Before all this modern gear, there was legacy. The Kar-15 HD-177 built its reputation in the jungle era. Short, aggressive, and mobile in dense terrain, where ambush was the default and visibility was measured in feet. It was the ancestor of the modern compact rifle, proving long ago that mobility could be the difference between life and death. When the mission shifts into close quarters and discretion, submachine guns become the knife. The MP5N is the maritime masterpiece, ruggedized for naval use, built to survive salt and spray while supporting high-intensity boarding actions. Compact, controlled, and iconic, it feels like precision violence. The MP5K pushes into low-profile work, small enough to conceal, fast enough to deploy instantly when protection details go sideways. Then the atmosphere changes with the MP5SD, the stealth legend with an integrated suppressor, built for quiet entries where the loudest thing you want is the bolt cycling. And then comes the modern compact terror, the HK MP7, engineered to defeat body armor while staying light and easy to handle, almost like carrying an oversized pistol. It's small, fast, and far more dangerous than it looks. Even older weapons held their place when they solved unique problems, like the M3A1 grease gun, simple, stubborn, and easy to keep quiet. An ugly tool that survived because it worked. But fights don't always stay clean. Space gets tight. Weapons get trapped. The rifle goes down. The pistol becomes the last line that must not fail. The S&W Hush Puppy is legendary because it was engineered for silence and control, designed for specialized tasks where noise could doom the mission. The HK SOCOM arrives like a heavyweight, massive, nearly indestructible, designed for an era where a sidearm could be treated like a primary offensive weapon. More practical for modern carry, the HK-45 Compact delivers 45 power in a more manageable package, built for covert work where balance matters as much as stopping power. For decades, the Sig Sauer P226 became a gold standard sidearm, trusted for reliability and the ability to function after harsh exposure, including being dunked in the ocean. The Glock 26 filled the deep cover and backup role, small enough to disappear but dependable when everything collapses. The Glock 19 became the unofficial favorite across operators worldwide, landing in the perfect middle ground, compact enough to carry, big enough to fight, reliable enough to trust with your life. The Glock 17 offers full-size stability and capacity, a rugged duty machine. The Beretta M9 remains the long-serving standard across the military for years, and even when teams had other options, it stayed a constant presence. For concealment-focused specialized work, the Sig Sauer P2228 delivered familiar reliability in a smaller frame. The modern modular era brought the Sig Sauer P320, adaptable in grip and configuration, built around tailoring the weapon to mission needs. Old-school legends never fully die either. The Colt M1911A1 is still respected for its history and 45 stopping power. For truly quiet surgical tasks in earlier eras, the high-standard HDM served as a suppressed .22 tool for operations where sound discipline wasn't optional. And then there's the underwater problem, something most people never even think about. Under the surface, normal firearms don't behave the same way. That's why specialized tools exist, like the Mk1 underwater defense gun, designed to fire steel darts in an environment where the rules of combat change completely. When the mission shifts to overwatch and long-range control, when a SEAL needs to shape the battlefield before the enemy even knows they're being watched, precision rifles take over. The KAC SR-25 delivers semi-auto precision, allowing multiple heavy rounds on target without breaking position. Speed matters in Overwatch, and this rifle provides it. The Mk12 SPR lives in the middle ground, giving marksmen more reach than a carbine, while staying practical for dynamic fights. When distance becomes extreme and the shot has to be surgical, the Mk13 in .300 Winchester Magnum steps forward, a bolt rifle built for serious work under real-world stress. Then comes the psychological level of firepower. The Macmillan TAC-50 isn't just a rifle, it's a statement. Heavy, powerful, and built for distances that break the enemy's understanding of safety. The Mk20 SSR adds semi-auto speed to precision, keeping up with shifting engagements. The Barrett MRAD represents future modularity, built around swapping calibers and adapting fast. And then the legend, the Barrett M82 M107, the Light 50, famous not only for anti-personnel work, but for turning equipment into scrap. Engines, radar, light armor, anything that shouldn't exist after impact. The M110 SS continues the semi-auto precision legacy, offering high-volume accurate fire to protect moving assault elements. And bridging the gap between 7.62 and 50, the Macmillan TAC 338 and 338 Lapua Magnum delivers devastating energy and precision at ranges that punish anything less capable. When the fight becomes about controlling space and breaking contact, machine guns enter the story. The Stoner 63 remains legendary for modularity, able to shift roles because adaptability is survival. The M60, the Pig, delivered raw firepower, heavy, loud, hungry, but capable of changing the entire outcome of a firefight. The M60E4 modernizes the concept, lighter and more reliable for harsh terrain and long patrols. The MK46 is built for special operations mobility, delivering heavy sustained fire from a single operator. The MK48 scales it up with 7.62 belt-fed power, giving small teams a serious advantage without needing a full crew-served setup. The M249 SAW became the symbol of volume fire built to keep teams alive under ambush pressure. The M240 is legendary for reliability, often mounted on boats and vehicles, trusted to keep running when chaos hits peak levels. And for heavy mounts, the M250 caliber remains one of the ultimate hitters, a weapon with a reputation spanning generations. Then there's the sound of dominance itself. The M134 minigun, a multi-barrel monster whose fire rate feels like the world being torn open. When it opens up from a helicopter or boat mount, the fight usually ends.